Hello and welcome to Cracked Open, a podcast guiding you on your journey to becoming a vessel of unconditional love. This is your host, Beck Milonis, High Priestess, Channel, and Activator. Join me on this series as I share reflections, insights, and channel transmissions from my journey of walking the initiation path. Each episode is a unique transmission containing supportive frequencies to facilitate the deepest healing, activation, and reconnection with your soul. I invite you to open your mind and set the intention to receive this episode into your heart space. Let's go. Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome back to another episode of Cracked Open, a podcast guiding you to becoming a vessel of unconditional love. This is going to be another episode where we just started off somewhere random and we get straight into it. So I'm not going to introduce this next speaker. I'm just going to drop you straight into when we started recording, because as you can see, some magic started from, or as you will see in a moment, some magic is going to unfold. So please enjoy this episode. And let's get started. Ooh, got some tears. It's gonna be like that today, I think. Oh, yeah, far out. Your presence is beautiful. I'm just like, I'm in awe.
Yeah, and your sister and yours. I feel it deeply as well.
Oh my God. Sorry, I'm like, oh,
I
didn't
love
see
you
this
already.
coming. Yeah, same. Oh, we fucking know each other, huh? Like, we got like full. So like, God, Matt, you put this in the episode. I've been like getting real unhinged with these episodes and just like dropping them. Like I used to like curate it and like welcome everyone to the episode, and now I'm just like, let's fucking
Oh,
go.
the world is done with that shit. You know, what you're bringing through is what everyone is ready for. So I just want to honor you for that.
Whew. I want to honor you too, sister. I'm not even going to welcome you or start this. I feel it's really important for people to see and feel like both of us. I'm going to introduce you formally. This is Rhiannon Heins. I'm going to introduce her formally in a second, but just dropping into the energy that you can feel, guys, on this episode. This is what happens when you're in full fucking devotion to your soul and to your work and to your mission. Like, this is what gets to happen. You're like, random woman I've never actually met in person, and we're here both pulling our eyes out within like 5 seconds of each other's energy. It's like, woo! Guys, this is me unhinged raw on this podcast. We're gonna get even more fucking real than we've ever gotten. So yeah, today's gonna be a beautiful, potent, expansive, heart-opening commission. I have the beautiful Rhiannon Heins with me today. This is Rhiannon. She's an intuitive channel, a devoted healer, best-selling author, and founder of the Intuitive Rebirth Healing Revolution. And I'm just going to drop in here with a little personal anecdote before I introduce yourself and in your own words. Rhiannon reached out to me a couple weeks back, and I've been putting this intention out there of like, I want to do more pilgrimages and sacred retreats and in-person stuff. And Rhiannon had come across my feed maybe 5, 6 years ago when I started this work, and you were doing rebirth, the rebirthing practice method, whatever it is, these beautiful, powerful retreats that you hold. And I'd seen them and I was like, fuck yeah, I'm here for this woman and the work she's doing. And it was such an expansion for me to see you in this work. And it was kind of like where I wanted to go, right? And so a couple of weeks, and I mean, her mystery school, her offering is called Rebirth, and I run Rebirth, so that's been my whole thing too, right? So anyway, long story short, I see this email come up in my inbox the day after I've declared, God, I'm fucking ready to do these retreats, more in-person work, like more. And then your email came through, and I was like, usually I don't listen to or respond to emails that of people I don't know personally coming on this podcast, because these are like you can feel them, they're powerful activations, right? Anyway, I read it and I was like, that's cosmic. It's a cosmic sign of like, we have to talk. I don't know why we have to talk. I feel it. And if you're sensitive to energy, you can maybe feel the resonance here. So Rhiannon, please tell us in your own words, because I actually don't know you personally, not personally on a soul level. There's like a deep knowing, but for my listeners who don't know you, aren't familiar with you, please tell us a little bit about yourself, the work you facilitate, how you got here, what brings you here into this beautiful space we've created.
Wow, I didn't know that story first, Beck. I didn't know that you knew me on some level. So I'm just honored to know that you felt that resonance. And yeah, there's no mistakes, and the energy is just actually, I'm a little bit kind of lost for words because I've spoken on a lot of podcasts, but I've never started in deep tears with someone I've never met. But so who am I? I don't know. Like, I don't know. I'm whoever I need to be. I'm whoever I need to be. And about 10 years ago, or maybe 12 years ago, from the space of agony that was my life, I heard this mantra somewhere, and it was just keep me on my highest path. And I clung on to that mantra, and I've stopped saying it now, but I clung on to it for a lot of years, just keep me on my highest path. And I have morphed into so many versions of service throughout that time that to say I'm a healer or to say I'm a teacher or to say I'm a writer, it's like I have been all of those things. But in this moment, I'm literally at such a deep place of surrender that I'm like, I don't actually know. I don't know. But what I do know is when I allow my life to just move with the current that moves me, I'm moved into service in such an intense way that everything else in my life follows that. I'm moved into service in a way that my entire family moves country, my kids move schools, because my commitment to whatever is true for my life experience is so deep. So throughout this last 8 years or 10 years that I'm describing, I've been a body worker, I've been a channel, I've been a psychic, I've been a yoga teacher, I've been a breathwork instructor, I've been whatever. I've been so many things. I've been a lecturer. And all the time I was doing these bits and bobs, nothing felt authentic. Nothing felt authentic. And I felt like I wanted to serve. I wanted to offer myself to the world. But in trying to put myself into boxes throughout that period, there's been an aspect of me that's always had to step aside. And about 5 years ago, I couldn't do that anymore. I just gave it all up. I was like, I'm not a healer. I'm not a body worker. I'm not a yoga teacher. Just like keep me on my highest path. And I started to just like pledge in such deep devotion. Like, I don't care. I'll do it. I'll do whatever you want. Like, I'll give my money. I'll invest all my money. I'll invest all my time. I'll invest whatever. I just can't stand any of this pain of misalignment. You know, I can't have it. So just fucking keep me on my highest path. And from there, people started to message me for sessions, like a lot, because I was always doing sessions, but people started to message me for sessions that I had on such a high pedestal, you know, medicine people or really amazing, gifted, experienced energy workers. I had them on such a high pedestal. And from that place of devotion, they started to reach out to me and book sessions. I was like, but I don't even know what I do anymore. But I trusted, like this moment with that we're sharing, I trusted that these encounters were sacred. And before I went to do this session, I just gave up. I gave over. I just like sat before they would arrive. And I just asked, like, I will do whatever you need me to do for this person. Like, let me serve to the fullest of my capacity in this moment for them. And I would write down stuff. And it would be so wild. And I would just do it. I would be singing. I would be having the person dancing. I would be singing to like water in a crystal bowl and then having the person fucking baptize themselves. Like, I was just doing whatever. Whatever I saw, whatever I felt, I was just doing it. And what I was seeing in the session was like within 5 minutes, the deepest healing was activated. Much deeper than 15 minutes of breath. much deeper than just any of the techniques I had. I was just giving myself over and doing what I felt was true. And the depth of the work was just like, and then like 4 years ago, I was like, you got to teach this, Rhiannon. You got to teach this. And then I realized that my whole life of squeezing myself into inauthentic boxes, I'd been trained for that moment. I'd been a lecturer. I'd learned how to formulate programs. I'd learned how to speak. I'd learned how to do all these things. And I created Intuitive Rebirth, just to show anyone with the capacity to serve with a pure heart that if you just give yourself in absolute devotion to a moment of service and stop making it all about you, like, am I doing a good job? Is this right? Do they like it? If you just give yourself to a moment of service and absolute devotion, like, the power of that session is beyond any modality or anything you could ever fathom. And the retreats that you're seeing is like, some of them were huge, like a gathering of like 45 people where it's like giving this transmission, and then it's like, let's just go. Let's just go. Pure hearts open. Let's just go. And day one, the work that was taking place was seeing spontaneous, like, Kundalini activation, spontaneous exorcism, like spontaneous, like deep, deep trauma release, not from pushing, not from needing it to be that, but from just opening and saying, let me be, like you said, Beck, let me be the channel. Just fucking show me what to do. And just bringing the whole room into symphony of that. And the love in this space that we co-create has changed my life forever. And now I'm not doing these retreats right now because it doesn't feel true to me in this moment. So I'm in this space like, well, show me, like, keep me on my highest path. Where does this love want to flow next? And here I am now, not really doing a great deal, but sharing this really beautiful moment with you.
Thank you. Oh, yeah, big tears for me through listening to, because I've been there and I understand that, like, fuck, like the titles and the labels and the modalities, and we get ourselves so caught up in this performing of what it should look like or how we should be. And I mean, I always talk about this, and I'm really passionate about everyone has magic within them. They have magic, they have codes, they have their own unique way of bringing through. It's just pure love, right? That's what it is. And it's like when you become like this conduit of just pure devotion to God, to source, to something greater than you moving through you, miracles are possible. What you're talking about is miracles. And it's not performance. It's not playing a role of a spiritual person or playing the role of the healer or the teacher. It's actual like humility of like, God, move through me and move into this person and move mountains, right? Move mountains. So I personally know the stripping back that's required, like the you were prepared to kind of let go of everything, and again, like letting go of everything. Let's talk about this process, because we both are holding a program called Rebirth for a reason, right? Like the rebirthing, I'm in a bit of a death right now. Like I'm in a void, in a between like the liminal space, and I know it's because I'm being prepared to hold the next rebirth, and that happens for me. The place between who I was and who I'm becoming, the place between where I was going and kind of where God wants to take me. There's this space between where you're like, oh fuck, like my footing's not stable. I don't know where I'm going. Like this is crazy. I'm just trusting, I'm just showing up. So let's talk about, not that what it takes, but like, I feel like there's not enough conversations out there around that devotional path, and it maybe not looking the way that people think. Like they think that it's going to be this glamorous path of unfolding, and actually it's fucking messy and it's painful sometimes, and it requires you to go through things like these loops and spirals. And I'm just curious how you relate to that, passing through that threshold and the death, right? I was going on a rainforest walk with my dad yesterday because I've just arrived up here in the Sunshine Coast. It's really beautiful, and I was seeing the forest floor, and I was seeing like all the decay in the forest floor, and Spirit was whispering in my ear, and Spirit was reminding me like, it's okay. Like this is part of the process. Like the decay has to happen. The death has to happen. And I talk about this in my book too, about like that cycle has to go through its motion. Like the leaves have to fall to then be the fuel for the mycelium to then bring back new life, right? Like we have to go through the death. And I'm just curious about your relationship with the death and what that's made possible and what the letting go has been for you.
Yeah, that was really beautiful the way you described that with the forest.
Yeah.
um, so you're so right that it's like the becoming is so glamorized. It's like Instagram. Like I love it and I hate it at the same time
Yeah.
because it's like everyone is showcasing this becoming, manifesting their dreams, like living their best life, like moving forward, stepping through the fire of courage, like taking new opportunities, leaps of faith. And it is that, right? It is that. But it's only that in small moments of time. Because most of the time in this path is just stillness. It's just the stillness of allowing and the spaciousness. Because most action that is taken in this society is birthed from a place of fear. And even on like Instagram, which is where so many people, like, we're connecting in this space. Like, there's so much connection and magic happening there. And yet there's so much fear in this grid of Instagram. Because how much creation is birthed from a place of fear? Even seemingly spiritual offerings, that it's like, if I don't put this out there, will I ever achieve my goals? If I don't post this today, will the algorithm forget me, right? So much action, action, action. But actually, the path of like allowing our most sacred existence to move through us is stillness. Is stillness. And sometimes that stillness is so uncomfortable that we want to move from it quickly to act, to get away from that stillness, which is so painful. And that's what I see is so much content and newness birth from that energy. But if everyone just allowed themselves to be in the stillness of their own pure truth, then spontaneous creation would arise. And that spontaneous creation isn't going to arise all the time and constantly, but when it does arise, it's going to be sharp, it's going to be pointed, it's going to have so much energy behind it, and it's going to be easeful. So that process of letting go and death is really just getting comfortable in the stillness, in the allowing that, okay, there is literally nothing moving through me right now. So I'm going to give myself to that nothingness. And within me, as I give myself to that nothingness, I'm going to feel the vibration of fear. That is my societal conditioning that says your nothingness is not enough. I'm going to feel that vibration. I'm going to allow it to be there. I'm going to breathe into that. Once I get so comfortable and present in the nothingness, then I might have a desire to draw a picture, to write a book, to bring through an offering. But I think the death is the allowing and the allowing and the allowing of the nothingness, so that true creative energy can move through us into the purest rebirth. But so many of us miss the rebirth because we can't be in the pain of the stillness for long enough to experience that full letting go, that full letting go.
Yeah. I'm just gonna let that land. I'm just feeling into it's almost like where trying to force ourselves to be somewhere always instead of here. And it's like here is always perfect. And I am fucking feeling this in my chest as well because I'm like fighting against here and I'm fighting against the nothingness being like, but like I can feel what's coming and I feel the energy of where I'm going and who I'm being and what's but it's like that's not here. That's not now. That's a future moment. And if we're always reaching for something that's not here and now, then we're taking ourselves out of that moment, right? And it's almost like we're forcing ourselves. Yeah, I feel there's this societal thing, and you touched on it, of needing to be more, needing to be elsewhere, needing to be anywhere. Because if we sat with the stillness, it's really uncomfortable, and it rises space for the things that we've been repressing to kind of come up and look at. And that's what's been happening for me over the past, it's like 3 weeks. I've had a whole lot of old thoughts and behaviors and patterns coming up, and they're saying, God's like saying, hey, this is all the stuff you can't take through the door. Like you got to sit with it and like process it and look at it, because it's like it's not where you're going. It's who you were, but it's not where you're going, and that shoe doesn't fit anymore. It's like something that I think Ram Dass says a lot. Like it's the shoe's too small, it doesn't fit. It's like you try to squeeze your fucking foot into this shoe that doesn't fit anymore. But in order to let it go, it's like you have to sit with it and witness it and be with it and look at it, right? For me, that's what the stillness is. It's about like what's here, what's present, what's coming up. And I think that's why a lot of people avoid the stillness, because in the dark, in the shadow, it's where we hear that little voice that we've been trying to like ignore and not listen to, the pain, the whatever it is, the stories that we've been trying to like move past or bypass by being busy, by being onto it, by being on social media, by being texting all the time. Like we don't want to fucking listen to it because it's not comfortable, right? And for me, I'm like actually hearing it again. I'm like, oh wait, this is like everything that is in direct contradiction to what I'm asking and what I'm calling in and where I'm headed. Like I'm calling in more service, like more, yeah, just more service, higher service, bigger service. But then I've got this little voice that's like, oh no, like you can only be this much magnetism. You can only be this much alive. You can only be this much powerful. You've got to like limit, right? So it's like I'm seeing in this space the places where I've limited myself and the places where those stories and those identities and those even like talking about having a story or an identity or a personality, like that's being stripped back. And it's like you were saying, God was taking from you, or I don't know if you use the word God, I use the word God personally, source, spirit, whatever, was taking from you all these identities of body worker, healer, whatever, this, that. It's like stripping back all those stories, stripping back all those identities, stripping back those past versions, because we can't take them through into the next, whatever is beyond. We don't know what's beyond the threshold, but we can't take our old shit beyond the threshold. And that's the discomfort of like, there's like almost this death. There's this death that happens in that silence of like, now that it's quiet and I have no distractions, I can't hide from what I've been avoiding or evading. Does that resonate with you? Are you kind of saying something a little bit different? But
Absolutely. Yeah, no, absolutely. And the beautiful irony is it's like that as we get clear on what we want in the future and this life, and we get clear on like the deep yearnings of our soul, as you say, like to serve more deeply, to do these like live offerings, and you can feel and see like the pulse of what's coming.
mm,
That is truth, right? That is truth. When there is when there is that vision that like arises from us and it lights us up and it's so exciting, that is the soul is here to experience that. So that is the inevitability. Like there's nothing to force. Like that is the inevitability. Once you're aligned, whatever you are excited about, a vision for the future, it's inevitable. And then the beautiful thing about it is that energy of like everything that it is that you know that you're stepping into, Beck. It's like, here it is now, fully alive within your body. Here it is, fully alive within your body. Like, here it is in your base. Like, here it is in your entire channel. Like, that energy of that expansive service and everything that comes with it. It's like here in your body. And then in the stillness that we're speaking about, it's not like taking us away from our creative power. It's actually allowing us to alchemize within our body everything that's not resonant with that.
Yeah. Phew.
You know, so the
Yeah.
stillness, it's like it's not a pause that stops us moving forward. It's actually the pause that says, I'm not, like you say, I'm not taking this bit with me.
Mm. Hmm. And it's almost
And
that energy
yeah.
too is what transmutes the stuff that's in the way, right? Like I'm gonna relate it with like an example because I speak in real world examples of what I'm going through. They're easier to relate to. For me, it's been manifesting as this like fire. There's this like fire and like frustrate. It's like anger. It's always like anger. There's like part of me that's like, ugh, I don't like, ugh, I've got to like, ugh, like that's what the energy feels like, right?
Yeah.
I was talking to my mentor this morning, and she was saying like, Beck, like you are, because I'm waking up in the middle of the night and I'm like, I fucking just want to rage. And she's like, that's your aliveness, that's your passion, and it wants to come through, and you're like, no. And it's like that she's like, use that energy to transmute all the stuff that's like the limitations of the societal shit that's like whatever it is, the stories that are like holding you back from just exploding and being this supernova. And so I was like using it now. I was using like that energy in that liminal space or in that void or whatever. It like it is the energy that's going to catapult you out. Like you were saying, I feel that energy of that. I'm like, I fucking feel it too. It's like, you just got to let it move, like move through you and push the stuff out of the way. But it's like while
Yeah.
that stuff is pushing the old stuff out of the way, it's got to come up and you've got to sit with it and look at it and like face it and be like, hey, whew, I'm letting it go. It's like a lot moving. So you know,
Yeah.
it's
That's it.
while it's happening, it's like it can be, yeah, it's like this is what you asked for, right? This is what you asked for. People don't realize when they ask for something, they're being initiated into that through the process. And I think we have this attachment from a human perspective of like, I'm moving towards this, and there's this linear path, and I got called to do this, or I got called to go there, so it's going to look like this. And then when it doesn't happen the way that we think that it should have happened, or in the timing that we should have happened, then we create a story about it and we get all like frazzled and panicked, and then we can't sit in the crumbling that has to happen that's fucking inevitable because it's a stripping back of everything that's not pure devotion, pure source. Especially if you're playing in the realms of, you know, lots of people that listen to this podcast are on a soul path. They're called, they're healers, priestesses, whatever these terms are, these terminology, starseeds, light workers. They're called to something, but they have this attachment to how it looks and what it is. And God's like, I can't take you there if you're clinging on to like it has to be this way and it has to look this way. And you know, my soulmate has to come in and he has to have these qualities. And he has, you know, the times that Spirit has brought me someone into my life who's nothing like what I expected, but was everything that I needed, right? It's crazy. It's crazy. But it's like we're so uncomfortable with the unknown. We're uncomfortable with the unknown because no one knows what's on the other side. It could be a shit show. It could be a disaster, or it could be everything that we're seeking.
Mm.
So what is your advice if someone's in this
Yeah.
void, in this collapse, like the unknown? What is how do you navigate the unknown? I know you said sitting in it, breathing into it. What's it? I
Yeah.
reckon you've been through some unknowns in your life, some pretty big, like jumping off a cliff and just trusting and being initiated
Yeah.
by it. How do you move through that?
So every day is the unknown. And anytime we think we know, we're just delusional. We're just delusional because everything could change within a moment.
Yeah.
And actually, like you say, so many of your listeners are like deeply on the soul path. So I know that they'll relate to what I said about like keep me on my highest path, because I know that in one way or another, like your listeners have committed that pledge to their own life, their own existence. So your highest path is going to be beautiful. It is beautiful. It is a complete melting and coming together of everything that lights you up as a soul. Like the visions that we've had for our future that make our hearts sing and we don't know why.
Mm.
Like that is what your soul came here to experience. So it's an inevitability. And it's funny, like people do all this relinquishing of attachment, letting go of belongings, and yet still is that desire to have a house that looks a certain way, still is that desire to travel the world, or still is that desire to serve and have a big impact. And it's like, okay, so if that is not my ego, then what is that? That is my soul showing me what to visualize, what to call in. So then today, we have to just know that the vision that we have for the future is not something we've just made up. It's seeded. It's seeded. It's written in the stars. It's literally, you are here for a reason. And all of the visions that excite you the most is intertwined with your destiny, your reason for incarnation. So it's inevitable. So with that, it's like, just fucking know that everything that you really, really have ever wanted is coming. Whether you like it or not, whether you surrender or not, whether you work really hard in this moment or not, everything you've ever wanted and have visualized from the deepest space of your heart is coming. So then it's like, how much do you trust in this moment your reason for existence? How much do you trust your reason for incarnation, your reason for existence? How much do you trust the sacred mission of your soul? How much do you entrust the divine intelligence of this entire mystery to bring you here now full of these ideas and visions? Because that is the only question at play. If we can know how divine and how beautiful and how spectacularly alive our future is, then we stop fighting against the day. It's like, so much of what we do in a day, it comes from the fear that somehow our deepest desires are never going to come. So just know. Just know. And it's like, if you allow yourself right now to feel the essence of your soul, like the deepest essence of your soul, like feel your soul aspect, and ask of your soul, like, what do I long to experience in this lifetime? And trust what you feel. Because when I ask that question of my soul, I see a house that is very, very opulent. And I trust the vision of the opulence, because I trust the frequency that my soul needs to have that experience. There's 3 things that have come to me when I ask my soul what it longs to experience. One is very free travel. One is very opulent home. And one is the opportunity to speak like this. So those 3 things came to me when I asked my soul, and I didn't judge them. I didn't judge any of these 3 things. I wrote them down, and I just loved my soul so deeply and said, like, okay, I trust that you long to experience this, so it's the inevitability. And then everything that I think is going to happen never does happen, because I don't know the path that is going to take me to my soul longings, but I know it's inevitable. So then today, what is today? Today is a day where my daughter is very sick, so she's laying on the couch and she's got cartoons on all day, and I hate the feeling of cartoons on all day in the house. I hate the feeling of not having my freedom in the moment, because I have to look after my beautiful daughter all week. Today is a day where there's not much work flowing through me, and there's, as you say, there's this frustration, like, I want more from this day, I want more from this day. But it's like, okay, today is this perfect expression. Everything is perfectly as it needs to be. So I'm just going to trust. How can I experience the beauty of this day more deeply? And then that becomes a conscious choice. And then that becomes a conscious choice. I go sit on the grass. I go for a walk. And I tune back into the miracle of the day, knowing that it doesn't need to be any more than what it is.
There was something just curious how you would relate to, or what guidance would you give someone? Because I've talked about this on here, but I'm curious what your perception would be, or like what your advice would be for someone to discern. Like you said, oh, I feel the frequency of opulence. And I feel that, well, did you just change? I looked away and you're like suddenly wearing something different. See, like here 1 minute and gone the next. That's so funny.
Magic. Yeah, no, I just took my jumper off. I just noticed
Oh
my
my
face
God.
was like a tomato and it was really hot.
I jumped timelines. Um, so you said you had this feeling for opulence, and for me, I have the same. And the other day I was in a bodywork session with a sister of mine, and I was like just orgasming. I was just orgasming, and I was like, oh, the oracle's meant to come back, and like we're meant to have priestesses and oracles be worshipped in this wealth, but like to change the wealth codes of the planet, and like I was just in this like full orgasmic vision around it all. And so that for me feels very authentic. It feels very true. It's not like I need a big flashy house to prove a point. It's like, no, 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 I'm anchoring this wealth, this opulence again that I've had. And like there's royalty in my blood and in my bones and in my DNA, and I feel it, right? I'm here to bring it forth. So it's true. I know it's true. And I know for you it's true. And many of us, if you want to say the word divine feminine beings or whatever you want to relate to or call it, we're here to bring this new wealth back, this opulence. It's opulence. That's the best
Mm.
word for it. So I know for me it's true. But what's the difference between someone who's like, I need to have a big mansion and a car, and I feel like that's my soul telling me that I'm meant to have these things, but actually it's their ego trying to have that stuff to fill a void because they don't feel good enough. Like, how do you discern the difference? And maybe you're not like we are able to read energy just yet. So if you can't read energy yet and you don't know how to tell the difference between a pure frequency of like, no, my soul really fucking wants me to experience that and I'm here for like sacred union, right? Like I know I'm here to anchor sacred marriage with a counterpart, with like a man, right? Or maybe not, maybe surprise, it's not a man. Who knows? But I know I'm holding codes of Hieros Gamos for the planet. I know that. I came in here born knowing that, right? So it's a soul knowing. But what's the difference between a soul knowing of I know I'm here to, and the things that you've seen, the speaking, the teaching, I've had these visions. And over time, I question these visions and I'm like, is this my ego telling me I need this because this is what it needs to look like to be a successful person, right? And so I've let go of the visions, but then my soul's always called me back to them and it's like, no, 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 like they're aligned, right? They're soul aligned. So as someone who is tapping into like these desires, what would you say to them as a like so it's like a true authentic soul aligned desire versus a desire that you're trying to get because you feel empty without it, or your ego is trying to be
Mhm.
gratified through it, or how do you discern the difference?
Well, I'm going to say that if someone is still listening to this now, this podcast, like if someone is still listening to this episode,
Probably
it's
no.
safe to say there's a fair bit of work that's been done to even know what we're talking about. Right?
Okay.
So I think we all need to go through a process of non-attachment, of unhooking from the matrix of consumerism, where we're trying to fill an empty void with stuff. We all need to go through that process. And I think on the macro, humanity's awakening has been very aligned with the stages of our awakening that we've needed, like the explosion of yoga and meditation. You know, the yogic path is very much just a path of non-attachment, right? A path of letting go, a path of remembering your wholeness and your union with the divine without anything. And I think so many people who are awake and well and truly like deep in their path have done that. And now they're living a life where they don't need anything to 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 feel whole. They
Mhm.
don't need a specific handbag, you know? Like I remember how it felt to have a desire for a specific handbag. Like that was like like this energy, like give me, give me, give me, give me. You know, I remember how that felt. and and we have to go through a period of just shedding and shedding and shedding to unhook from that web, because that web in this matrix of consumerism says that you will never be satisfied. So, like, our first spiritual awakening is to meet the divine, to meet the full ecstatic ecstasy of what it means to be in our body, where we're in the ocean and the sun is on our face, or it's like raining and you're going for a walk and it's like, it doesn't get any better than this. Once we have those experiences, we're unhooked, because nothing is gonna fill that void, like, because the void is full. The void, there is no void. We know ourselves. So once you've met God or the divine, once you've met your wholeness, you're unhooked. And I think a lot of people get stuck here, where they stop creating and they stop recognizing what they want because they don't want to rehook. They want to just stay in their purity, right? Their purity of just wholeness in the moment, letting go, letting go, letting go. Offering free healing, free meditation circles, free, because they just don't want to hook back in because they've found liberation. So if you can resonate with this space, if you're listening, you can resonate with the space that I'm describing. Now ask yourself, come into your body, like come into your hips, come into your belly, come into your heart, like put your hands on your body. Like, what would this body love to experience? What would this body love to experience? Like, this body loves to experience really good food. Like, me and my husband, we love beautiful restaurants. Like, we love the theater of fine dining, and we leave hungry, but we love the theater of it, just like, oh, what a beautiful human experience. And opulence, like, when I think about the textures, the fabrics, the colors that bring me most pleasure in my human body vessel. It's like I feel marble, I feel timber, I feel chandeliers, I feel stone, I feel colors, I feel like these Moroccan textiles.
Yeah, you're
And
gonna give
it's
me
like,
orgasm. I'm like orgasming over.
yeah, because
Oh my god.
we're here on this planet of physicality because we're not meant to transcend physicality. The soul signed up to experience physicality, so we are never going to transcend our true innate desires within this physical body vessel. And what you're saying about that your soul knows these wealth codes, absolutely it does, because the truth of humanity is opulence. Our entire history is fiction to make us believe that we come from some sort of archaic, basic, like, standard of living that is just destitute, right? We're shown this in movies over and over and over again to make us believe, oh, we're so lucky now. And of course we are lucky. But if you look at like the true old world architecture, it's opulence, it's curves, it's colors, it's opulent, it's crystal, it's alive. And when we see beauty, our bodies feel safe in this beautiful earth. Beauty and safety go hand in hand. So our desire to experience pleasure through our physical body, pleasure through our physical experience, safety through the visual experience of beauty. Like, this is our birthright, and it's not the ego. And it gets to a point where it's actually the ego that wants to stop us from having those experiences. And there's a reason shows like minimalism and stuff are pushed on Netflix and these mainstream platforms, because it's a program to stop humanity waking up from our true blueprint, which is opulence, beauty, wealth, abundance.
I love that. I love that. Oh, so much in here. I say it's a false light code, right? I think we have to go through this journey of the stripping back, like you said, so there's not attachment to it. Then it's like, oh, wait, this just brings me joy. It actually just feels really good to live this way, to have nice things. Like I'm a freak. I drove up here 10 hours with a boot full of blankets and pillows and paintings, and just because my eye, like visually, I need lines that are visually aesthetically pleasing to feel good. I feel colors, like you said, the frequencies and sacred geometries of my space, it really affects me. Like it actually affects me. And I know I'm going to perform better. I know I'm going to serve better when I feel good. Like it's just like when we're overflowing because we're feeling lit up, like all the things that you were talking about, I could feel like I'm the same. Good eating experiences and nice textures and things that like that it's tactile. It's a beautiful experience in our bodies. Like my energy shifted just talking about these things with you. Like I came onto this podcast feeling like shit. Now I feel excited and I'm like, yes, I want to like do 5 more podcasts and finish my book that's like I'm about to publish. And like it's crazy what it does to you. And so I think there's a message here for anyone that's still in letting themselves experience lack because you think it's the spiritual thing to do, or because I don't know, it makes you closer to God or whatever it is that you're telling yourself. Imagine what having overflow or having a nice environment to live in or having nice experiences that light you up and make you feel good. And maybe, there's also, you can feel that from going on a bushwalk or sitting in the way. You can feel it both ways. It's not like you only do it through these expensive experiences, but it's like denying yourself from having things that make you put you into that space of activating that wealth, that opulence, that life force within you. Imagine how much you could serve and how much more fuel for serving you could have if you were taken care of, you were supported, you were divinely provided for, right? And this is something that I've really been like anchoring deeper and deeper and deeper into, is like allowing myself to be in overflow and allowing myself to be fully provided for, not just like surviving, but thriving. So I'm in the best position to just pour and devote into my work, right? Like devote into my creation, devote into however life wants to move through me. It's not even however I feel called to create. It's like whatever wants to move through me in the moment and express through me. Like when I'm not worrying about, I have to charge X amount on this, or I have to go to work to 9 to 5, Monday to Friday, in order to have the money to then be able to spend that 5 minutes in the afternoon to play my guitar and create a beautiful song or to write my book. Like if you are fully provided for in every second to have this beautiful environment and this experience and everything, your needs were met, you were taken care of, what would you fucking create? Is that like, what would you create if you were fully given the best of everything that made you in your optimal space? Like what support? And this is bringing me back to, I remember being an oracle. I remember being an oracle in many, many, many lifetimes. And as an oracle in my temple, and there's no attachment to this. It's just like I've seen and I feel these memories and they awaken within me of like, fuck, I was like fed grapes. And everyone that needed to find me and receive my magic or my medicine, whatever, they found me. They came to me. I had a roof over my head. I had a beautiful temple. I was wearing beautiful clothes. I took days off when I needed to, to just spend time with God in communion. I had a schedule that I created around certain periods, and I take whole seasons off, right? And there was no limitation of like, oh, you're lazy for sitting and spending time with God, or in a nunnery, like just praying all day. Honestly, if it was up to me, that's how I would spend every single day, would just be with God. That's all I fucking want to do. I just want to be in bed with God, like having this moment. But now I love bringing that through in all these different ways, like my experience of God in all these different ways. But bringing me back to like, there were times when it was enough for us to just be who we are and show up in our magic, in our connection to source, because people saw us and revered us for, this person is an important and integral part of society because this person helps us to go to that place where we can connect to the divine. Like if we're here to be this bridge, this access point to spirit, where like literally just feeling our fucking energy takes us to God, takes them to God, then surely we should be supported to be in our space. So we're in that connection, we're in that frequency, we're radiating the most that we possibly can, because we're not sitting there being like, fuck, how am I going to pay my bill? How am I going to put food on my table? How am I going to have the, how am I going to be provided for to go travel somewhere where I feel called and I know I need to go? Because God is calling me there because that land wants me there for some reason, or there's someone I need to meet there, right? If we have limitations or lack or scarcity, then we're limited in what our soul can create. Like when we're allowing that provision to flow through us, that abundance, that wealth, it's like then what we can create becomes infinite, limitless. It's like, fuck, I want to put on retreats, massive events for hundreds of people and charge like $3 a head, right? Like, I don't even want to be able to charge people. But in order to do that, what I need to have wealth, right? I need to have fucking financial wealth in order to put on these events, to bring these people and allow them to join, like donation based. Like, you need to have wealth to do that. Like, you need to have provisions, or if not you, you need to be able to call in the people who can support you and back you. So then the question becomes, as an oracle, as a channel, as someone who's doing divine work, what support is it? And it might not be, what Rhiannon and I desire of like, I want opulence, I want fine dining, I want, textures that make my pussy tingle, whatever it is. Or for me, I want massages to help move energy through my body, or I want a fucking husband who has my back and like takes care of me emotionally, or whatever it is, right? You may have different desires of the support that you need or require. Like for me, healers to support me. Not that I need healing, but to support me to move energies through my body work is that sort of thing. All these things, a chef would be amazing because I don't really like cooking, but I love eating beautiful, clean food, right? All these things that would make me then just devote my time fully to my creation, to being this channel, being this vessel. So I'm like, don't have to worry about all the shit that is not my zone of genius. What support would that look like for you? Is it a question to the audience? Like, what would that feel like to be supported? Who would you be? How would you show up if you didn't have all these like things that you had to do and check off lists and like I have to and my to do? Like, what the fuck would you create from that space? And I've been in that space, and the things that I've created from that space are pretty incredible, right? People like, how have you done all, like, you're 30, how have you done these things, books and like music and all these things? And it's like, because I allow myself to be supported, knowing that my only job is to create something that makes someone fucking feel something. Like, that's my only job, is to like make someone feel something real and true within them, elicit emotion, elicit something that takes them out of their fucking existence to feel God for a moment. And some people can't access these realms, and we just think that it's so normal to be tapped in all the time. And we really just don't value the work that we did to get to this point, to be that clear fucking vessel that you play a song and someone's like on the floor crying, clearing lifetimes of trauma because the frequency you're bringing through in your voice is so clear, or listening to us talk and it's like, boom, they're having a whole life reevaluation. And it's like, yeah, but we did work to get here. Like, we did a lot of, like, we don't value our fucking role in society. We're not valued the way that we used to be. Priestesses, oracles, shamans. In indigenous cultures, these people are valued. They're taken care of by their society. And in this society, there is not that support. And so we need to allow ourselves to receive that support through our work or through other people's, right? So what I'm trying to say, like, I'm like, there's like, we're here to help people reach the divine that can't yet do it themselves. And that's such an important job. But how can we help people reach the divine if we're in scarcity and we're in ego because we're not allowing ourselves to be provided for? I went on a bit of a tangent. There was a lot that needed to be said.
It was a great tangent. It was a great tangent.
Thank you.
But yeah, you're so right. It's the mystics aren't revered in the same way that they used to be, where we could be in temples and that could just be our life. But at the same time, we're needed here, like we're needed in the trenches, we're needed so that we can be relatable and so that we can connect and that we can meet people exactly where they're at. And the beautiful thing is that the mystics now, however that looks, you and I or anyone that's listening who's like knows that they have a path of service here to walk on this earth, we are being guided and shown how to cultivate an even deeper level of trust, because we are no longer provided for by the public, the people that live in your neighborhood are no longer donating money to the mystics, maybe donating money to the false light mystics in the church, but here we are, you know, these awakened, ready, juicy, incredible, motivated people who have so much life force running through our bodies and flowing from our hearts. So now we have this really sacred opportunity to trust the divine and every single minute of our lives, because there is nothing out of place. The mystery is so perfectly orchestrated that in the perfect moment, whatever you need to support you will show up to bring forward anything that needs to flow through you. Not a moment too soon, not a moment too late. And it will be a dance that might take a while, you know, because it's going to be our whole lives are going to be this dance. Our whole lives, there is no destination. Our whole lives are a dance, and we're going to be given what we need at exactly the right time, because our entire existence is part of this divine interplay, this miraculous mystery, this tapestry of perfection. And so when you first realize I have a great service here and I've got stuff that's moving through me and what I need is support. So for example, when my daughter was first born, it was like I had all this inspiration, right? What I need is someone to look after my baby. I need just someone to look after my baby for 3 days a week, you know? That was all I wanted. And I just felt like something was amiss because this perfect nanny wasn't showing up for me. And there I was, like, stuck in 24/7 motherhood, because at that point my husband worked away. So I was in 24/7 motherhood, fighting the moment. Like, I just want to serve, I just want to work, I just want 3 days, you know, break from my baby. It's like, well, that's not happening right now. So what's the alternative? The alternative is to open my heart more deeply to this moment, to hold my baby, and know that in this moment that I hold my baby, there is no deeper service that I could be in than my full unconditional presence as I just pour my love on this baby. And I did that for a good year. I just let it all go. I was just like, well, the support that I perceived that I needed was not there. And the initiation that I needed was there, which was to surrender, to step into the role that was present, to step into the only service that was required of me in that moment. And then boom, when I surrendered into that, a nanny did come. And then we had a live-in au pair. And that was so great. And in that moment, I was like, thank you, thank you. And I just felt this shower of divine support. And it was like, because I had passed through whatever initiation was needed. And it's like, where we perceive that we're not supported, we're actually just being asked to trust the moment more deeply. And when we give ourselves to that moment, the support that we perceive was lacking, it will show up in another way. And the more we do this, the more money starts to show up in unexpected ways. The more homes or beautiful things that we need and require show up in unexpected ways, but never at the time that we want it. Because the wanting, there is a lack there. That is the initiation. There's alchemy in the perceived lack. And that's the initiation that will move us into the energy that is ready for the receivership of the support that we need.
Yeah,
You know? Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah, and it's we
Yeah.
become empty to become whole as well. It's that whatever it
Yeah.
is that we're clinging. Oh, it's such a beautiful story, and it's always the case. It's always like when we stop the clinging to what it needs to be, and just like, no, it's perfect. There's no resistance then for whatever it is to drop in. Something was pinging to ask you before. Your book, your Intuitive Rebirth, the book that came through you, that's very much, I think I downloaded, I'm pretty sure I started reading it years ago. Like, I'm talking years and years and years and years ago. And I was like, oh yeah, I feel this is powerful. And what strikes me is like my book, Diamond Light Oracle, and the next one that's about to be published, but more so Diamond Light Oracle, it's a codex. It's not me. It's like something I receive something, and it's like it's a baby. Want to be born birth through me. It's a baby. It's got its consciousness. It does magic work on people. I feel like your book's the same. It's like a codex. They're codes, right? That people move through a
Yeah.
process with them. So how talk to me about this, because I don't know too many people who receive offerings or creative works or books or whatever, and they're like, it's like you're a custodian of this thing, and when the moment's ready it drops and it lands and it's like, here it is. And I feel like that work for you is almost like the equivalent for Diamond Light Oracle. I know is like, I came into this body for that book to be birthed for me because it's here to change some fucking lives, right? And I feel like the Intuitive Rebirth book for you is the same. It's like this, it chose you, right? And it's like you came through to birth this work to the world. So what's that process look like for someone? Because I think a lot of people on here are here to bring through these offerings or these, it's also that it's a similar with like every mystery school that I run. It's like they find me. I don't go out seeking being like, I'm going to run a dragon mystery school. I'm going to run Rebirth, which is based on solar initiation mysteries from Egypt, right? It's like it literally like it comes and it's like, oh, you're ready. And then, oh, you got to go through the initiation to be able to birth it. And then it comes and you're birthing it. So let's talk about that process, because I feel like you've got some juicy insights for people, how that process came
Yeah.
and how the download came and what it was like for you to bring that through into the world.
Yeah, you're so right that it's like you can't bring it through until you're ready, you know? It's like
Mhm.
we actually go through our own kind of cycles of initiation, contraction, and expansion so we can be ready to be in resonance with whatever wants to come through us.
Mhm.
And when that book came through, it was just like one chapter at a time, one chapter at a time. And if I tried to approach it from a place of force, because it's very exciting to write a book, you know,
Mhm.
and it's like the part of me that likes to like do everything in one day would just like love checking how many words I'd written in one day and be like, oh, like, you know, that's like 10. I like numbers. So, but
Mhm.
that's like 5% of a full book and blah, 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 you know, and I would try and like push. But anytime I approached it like that, it would just be a miss, you know. It just wouldn't flow. I'd sit down at the computer and it just like the words wouldn't flow.
Mhm.
So my life is very much, I'm a mother. I have a 6-year-old girl and a 4-year-old girl. So it brings me into this beautiful, deep presence where my service just is and it just arises in strange moments. So it would be like if I would see that the girls were like playing on their bike outside with Scott, my husband, then all of a sudden I'd get this like really excited energy come through me, like ooh, like super excited energy. And then I would just sit with this excitement, and it was like the energy of excitement that would open my channel to bring through each chapter. So it's like whatever we're birthing, it has to come from so much pure inspiration, like a childlike wonder and excitement, where we're so excited about what we're bringing through. When I think about my kids, like when they do a picture that they're so proud of, you know, and they're so excited to do, and they're showing you every step. And like with the book, every chapter I write, I would like follow my husband around the house, like listen to this, like because I was so excited about each chapter, just like so lit up with the inspiration of it. And it's like when we want to create something that comes from any place of like needing to create something, it's like our channel isn't pure. It's like if we want to create a book because it would be so cool to write a book, then just let that sit in your heart and just let it like whisper and play and dance in your heart, this idea. And just speak to God, speak to the divine, like I would love to write a book, you know, I've got a vision of me writing a book. Please feel free to spring forth inspiration in a spontaneous moment. And it will come through. It will come through. So I think this birthing process of our service is like a birthing of our pure creative innocence as children. children of the divine who are open to let pure inspiration move through us. And then we bring through something really, really special where you can feel no agenda in it, but that pure, sweet, divine, sacred channel in whatever it is, a course, a website, a book, an Instagram post. It's like just letting it arise through excitement rather than a need to do something.
With my book, it was like I was in love. Like there were moments when all the all the like eruptions of shadow were coming out. I was like, this is fucking terrible. I can't read it. But then there were moments when I would just be in awe. I would like you. I'd read the chapters over, and it was like something else wrote it. Like I didn't write it, and I was like, this is incredible. And my heart was like overfilling with just like this is my baby, and I love this. And oh my god, like so it was the most exciting thing in my whole life. My second book, not so much. Like it's been a beautiful process, but it hasn't like I feel like the first one was just so magical, and I was like so in love with the process, like you said. And I would go full 12, 14 hour days sometimes, not getting up, not going to the toilet, not getting a cup of tea while writing like a maniac, because I was like, it's going, right? Like, and I have my friends be like, how the fuck did you write that 500, like it's thick, this book in like 2 months? Because it was just coming. Like when it was just coming, it was just coming, and I was getting out of the way, right? Like it was like you got to just get out of the way. And I think that's to add to what you were saying. That's a sign for you when something is just full soul aligned. It's just like it just comes, and it is creating you. You're not even creating it. It is creating you. My best songs have come to me as well in moments of just pure, yeah, like it's what you would call a download. Like it just comes through, and it's like, oh my god, I just know what I need to write, and it's just happening, and I'm not trying to create it, I'm not pushing, it's just coming. And that, I think that comes back to this moment of being in the stillness and allowing something to come, allowing that creative spark to show you, like let the feminine show you what she wants to create, what soul wants to create. And if it's not coming, it's because maybe there's nothing that's meant to be coming in that moment, right? Like
Yeah.
maybe you're creating this space for something to come. Before that book came, I had like 3 months of intense death, void, like crumbling, all the things. And I know it was creating the space for this beautiful divine down, like purifying me before it came. And so I think that's just to come back and bring us full circle. It's like trusting those moments when nothing is coming and no action is being asked of us. They're just as perfect. And it's funny, I'm in launch right now. Like I'm supposed to be opening this sacred container in like a week and a half, 2 weeks. And it's filling up, but it's just not time. I feel like it's not time to go. And in the past versions of me would be like buying into the bullshit coaching industry. You got to post every day in a launch, and you got to be, why aren't you showing up online? And why I don't even want to fucking show up right now. I'm like, I don't want to write. I don't feel inspired to write posts. I don't feel inspired to show up in this way. And so I'm not showing up. And it's like, well, that's unheard of. 2 weeks before this container is like going, and you're not showing up, you're not posting. And it's like, it doesn't feel alive for me to take action. It doesn't feel alive for me to create. I don't want to create from a place of force, because then it's out of integrity. And I think, I was going to mention before, and I was curious about your perception on people. There's a lot of, I don't want to say fraudulent people, but there's a lot of performance in this space. And like, I think the reason I was fucking crying when I met you on here was like, oh, it's like that you feel when it's like, this is true, it's real, it's not performing, it's not bullshit, it's not, I'm wearing the clothes of what, I need, I'm writing what I feel like I need to write, I'm creating content, AI is creating content for me, right? I went on a rant about that on social media of like, this is what I feel like I have to be saying, or I have to, how I need to be presenting. There was a tangent, that tangent was going somewhere, it was to ask you a question, like,
Mm. I like your
what,
tangents.
yeah, how do you, yeah, thank you, I love them too. I just talk, I could talk. How do you discern, like, in this space, when something's been created from force and like a pressure or a need to do perfectionism, or like this overdoing? A lot of us have had overdoing complexes, and for me the first 2 years of this journey was stripping back, like this, I have to do, and if I don't do, I'm not worthy. If I'm not performing, I'm not worthy. If I'm not showing up online and posting every day, I'm not fucking worthy. Or, I'm not, I don't know, I'm trying to feed back into what I was saying about this performance or this fakeness. how do we how do we discern between what is something that is a pure devotional expression and what is
Mm,
performance, right? In this space. And for me, I know it's like I feel it. I just fucking I just feel it. I know it's truth. It's like this frequency of truth. But I'm just wondering if you
mm,
have anything to add to this in ourselves and observing others, right? I think for me it's really obvious now when I see someone and I'm like, oh, that's performance. That's absolutely
mm,
them performing. I need to have this big Kundalini experience, and I'm gonna post a video of me having this big fucking experience. But it's before. It's not an actual
mm,
release. Like I can tell that's not a release. That is them performing,
mm.
right? And you can feel it's different. It's a different
Yeah,
energy. Um,
yeah,
and I know when I'm performing, and that's when I don't show up. I don't show up and I don't post when I feel like I'm forcing this. It's like
yeah,
I'm putting on this hat of like, what does spiritual teacher Beck want to say today? It's not something I need to say. It's not coming as, that's why I've been silent on this podcast. It's like, I haven't felt this like burning, like I need to fucking get my microphone and record because there's something that wants to come out of me. So how do you discern in you what's like truth, it's real, and what's you feel like you're forcing yourself to create? And how you discern when you're observing and witnessing someone who is wearing a mask or performing versus what's an actual truth. Like what is when you're witnessing truth, you're witnessing raw truth or embodied, someone who's embodied. That word embodied thrown around, but like how do you discern the difference between embodied, like something that's embodied and true and pure, versus something that's fabricated or constructed or forced?
yeah. That's, I think it's such like an important question because it's it comes back to this Instagram thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like Instagram, it's very much like a part of this world. It's the
Mm.
online space that awakened people are engaging in and interacting in and sharing their service, and people looking for that kind of resonance support as well. So I don't know if you agree, but I feel like Instagram is this like very pivotal place.
Yes.
So something that I have noticed a lot is that in the need to be someone, a lot of people now, and this is like people with a huge following, are sharing polarizing beliefs that make something right and something wrong, right? And there is, obviously, it goes without saying, there is right and wrong, there is good and bad on this world, there is hate and love. I'm not talking about that, but I'm talking about in order to make themselves seem better,
Yeah.
putting down something else, to to make this path that I embody seem like the ultimate path, like I am the most amazing spiritual teacher, and anyone that's kind of dabbling on X, Y, and Z is misguided. I see like a lot of that, and it's creating this like polarizing viewpoint within spirituality. So I'll give you an example. It's like people who are speaking to like the simplicity of spirituality and the just beingness, and kind of mocking things like light language, or mocking these like body orgasms that people are having, like mocking the new age and making one way holier than thou. So if anyone that someone is following is doing that, that is a big red flag, because love doesn't do that. What does love do? Love sees the journey in its entirety, sees the value in all different ways of remembering, whether it's the value of a Joe Dispenza retreat, the value of a Tantra weekend, the value of becoming a Palladian channel, the value of becoming a devoted Christian, whatever it is. Like if it's pure of heart, there is value in all paths of remembering, if it's pure of heart and free from judgment. So when you're looking, like anyone that's listening, if you're looking for something, then just let go of all judgment. Let go of anywhere that you previously read that something is right or wrong, good or bad. Because your heart is showing you the message that you need to receive in the now. And it could mean that you dive into really resonating with someone who is like an Arcturian light language channel, and it's like that becomes your whole world for a period of time. It doesn't make it wrong. It's a remembering that you need in this moment.
Mm.
And if you're resonant with someone who is kind of on the opposite side of things, like really like bringing through these ancient primal sort of teachings, follow your heart. It is all, it's all of the one. But if someone is making out that their way is the way, then they have lost their way, because they're not operating from love of the entirety of the path of remembering. So the discernment lives within our own hearts. And the best way to discern is does this message come from love? Does this message come from love? And if the person does come from love and you feel resonance, then trust that there is a message within their teachings for you. And sometimes the message isn't what you think it's going to be. Sometimes, you're resonant with a teacher and the teaching is that you also could do that. But it's like the teaching was needed. So I think the greatest way to find resonance with a teacher or a course or training is like, does their message flow from a space of love and compassion for all beings? Because if it doesn't come from love and compassion for all beings, it's probably coming from a need to perform, like you say, be someone, earn money, or, build a following. So yeah, love is the language that speaks the loudest, and that's the one that allows us to find that deep resonance.
So simple. And it's
Yeah,
so
yeah.
like it's just so simple and it's so beautiful. I think I can definitely find myself getting really frustrated and judge. I can find myself being really judgy in that space of like that person's not embodied, like, blah, blah, blah. And like what you said is just so beautiful because it's like, well, but like maybe actually they need to be identified with being a starseed from XYZ and go down that path, and that's their path to God for now, and like maybe they need to go through that, and who the fuck am I to judge whose path is right and whose path is true? And yeah, it's a deeply humbling and beautiful way to look at it, and I love that. It's just so simple. I'm curious if there's anything coming down. I know you're a channel. Anything is coming down for you as like final messages or final topics that you're feeling really resonant, things that you want to say.
There is something coming in, but it's not a topic. It's maybe
Yeah,
just I don't know what it is.
yeah, we're open. That's what we're here for, exploring the.
Yeah. So just for all listening, let's just drop into the deepest space of the heart, into the infinite space of the heart. And just soften your lips and soften your jaw. And just with an exhale out of your mouth, just anything that you don't need to remember, any codes that weren't for you, just let them wash away. Breathing into your beautiful heart and just feeling the truth of you, and just exhale with a sigh and just let anything from this transmission that wasn't for you just wash away, wash out of your field. And breathe into the depths of your heart. And just feel your ancient, eternal truth. Breathe into the depths of your body. And remember who you are, your deep, eternal, ancient truth. There is no one for you to become. There's no one for you to emulate or replicate. Breathe into your heart. You are it, and you have always been it. From the flicker of light that was your first heartbeat, the first breath you took on this earth, You've always been perfectly as you've intended to be. Every single step of the journey that's brought you here, a perfect training ground for you to remember everything that you know. So breathe into your deep and infinite ancient heart and open yourself to feel the divine that you are, the divine that holds and guides and orchestrates all things. Now as you open yourself with your exhale, just surrender yourself. Surrender. I give myself to the divine. Open yourself and surrender. I give myself to the divine. And in the coming days, just allow this energy to move you. Allow yourself to be moved by the divine that flows through you, the divine that you are. And just continue to exhale everything you don't need. Any thought that pulls you away from the remembering of your wholeness. Any thought that pulls you away from the perfection of this moment you are in. And I'm just going to share just a very small transmission of light language, which is not a language at all. It's nothing outside of yourself. It's the true frequency of the earth and humanity. So as you breathe into your heart, just receive this energy wherever it lands. Huti aki eni okosiana. Omiaki omiotoyo. Wiki omiati aliani otoyo makie. Fosi aliani ati emio. Waki aliati emi ati e. Open your body. Open your heart. Open your crown, open your mind, and just remember you are so perfectly whole and free. Aho.
Aho. Wow, thank you. It was very powerful, very beautiful. Oh, we traversed so many topics.
We did, eh?
We really just got straight in there. It was a portal of time. Wow, thank you. Just thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Rhiannon, if people want to find you, they want to follow you, they want to come on your, well, you're not doing them now, but if you open up retreats in the future or offerings, how can people find you, follow you, experience you deeper?
Thanks so much, Beck. I've actually enjoyed this, enjoy isn't the word, but I've just lost myself in this moment. And I just want to thank you for everything that you're doing and the pure channel that you are and the magic that you're weaving into this world. So thank you.
Likewise, sister. Yeah.
And you can train with Intuitive Rebirth at the moment if you want to learn how to serve deeply and access your true healing capacity. Then if you go to intuitiverebirth.com, there is a practitioner training and it's online and self-paced and it's absolutely incredible. And there's 10% off that you can get for your listeners, and the code is just community. So just check that out. Or just head over to my Instagram, which is just Rhiannon Heins with an _. And it would be great to connect. And just sending everyone so much love and blessings. And yeah, thanking everyone for your presence and your frequency coming back to us.
Beautiful. Oh, I'm like floored, lost for words. Woo. Okay, listeners, thank you so much. And Rhiannon, again, thank you, thank you, thank you. Until next time, I love you all. And please be kind to yourselves. We've got some crazy solar weather at the moment. It's making everyone a little bit woo with the solstice coming up. But take care of yourselves. And until next time, beautiful souls, I love you. Thank you for listening to another episode of Cracked Open. Don't forget to hit subscribe and share with a friend if this episode has served you in any way.
For more information about the work that I do or to get in touch with me, read the show notes or head to beckmylonas.com. Until next time, beautiful soul.